Hi guys, this is Mary. Today on Cardz TV, we're going to do card number 7 in the 12 Days of Christmas card series, and we're going to do some paper quilting. We'll be using elegant edges, and I have got tons of scraps, guys. Tons and tons of them from all the cards I've been making. So we'll be using some scraps from this jelly bean soup, winter tortellini, and spinach soup 6x6 pad, and from this Doodlebug North Pole 6x6 pad. And for our sentiments, we'll use 2 of my Cardz TV stamp sets. For the front of our card, we're going to use Have a Warm and Cozy Christmas. And for the inside, we'll use Warmest Holiday Wishes from the Christmas Joy set. And this Warm and Cozy Christmas is from Very Merry. Now, to get started with our paper quilting, we're going to need a 3x3 inch square. And I'm doing mine in white. It's not going to be seen, so you can just use a piece of scrap cardstock. But that needs to be 3x3. And then pull out all your scraps. And I'm going to cut some squares that are 1 inch. Now, if you don't have a square punch, you can go to any of your Cricut cartridges that have squares, and you can check mycutsearch.com, and that'll let you know which ones have those. Or you can check your silhouette. Or you can use your paper trimmer and just cut strips that are 1 inch wide, and then go back and cut your 1 inch strips or squares. But I'm going to go ahead. We're going to need some solid and some pattern, and we're going to need 4 solid squares in one color, and I think I'm going to do mine in green. Then we'll need 1 solid square in another, and that one's going to be red. And you can do all your patterns the same, or you can mix them up and have several different, but you're going to need 5 squares in a pattern. So I'm going to go ahead and start punching these out, and we'll come back and get started putting these together. It's going to be really cute, guys. Now I've got my 4 green squares, 1 red square, and I decided to do 3 of my pattern squares in this cute red and green and white holly paper, and then 2 gingham squares. And I'm going to use some Scotch quick dry adhesive to put these down, but you can use Tombow Mono Multi, you can use your tape runner, whatever works for you, your 2-way glue pen. And the first thing I'm going to do, I think, is start with a pattern up here in the corner. Now you can lay your pattern out ahead of time, and that will probably make it easier for you to get these on here the way you want them. I think I have a pretty good idea. I'm going to start with a pattern, and then a solid, and then the opposite pattern, and another solid, another pattern, and another solid. This kind of reminds me of a 9-patch quilt. Okay. I think we're going to go just like that. And then I'll show you what we're going to do with this red one. So I'm going to go ahead and just start laying these down. It's going to be so cute, guys. It's going to look like a nice, warm, cozy Christmas quilt. And that's why I thought that sentiment from the Very Merry set would be so cute. Have a warm and cozy Christmas. Just makes you think of things like warm country quilts, doesn't it? I have made 1 quilt in my lifetime, and it was a 9-patch. I used to do a lot of sewing, so I had lots of quilt scraps to use, or scraps. And it was a lot of fun, but it did take me quite a while, because I did it by hand. Haven't done one since. And if you get a little glue coming out, it's okay. Now you can see this hangs over just a little bit, because maybe I didn't cut this quite 3 inches. That's okay. When we're done, we're going to go around and trim off all the edges. But you just want to keep following your pattern and get all your squares on here. So I'll keep going with this, and then we'll come back and I'll show you what we're going to do with that red square. Now we're going to take this one red square, and we're going to start at the point and cut this in half from point to point. And then we're going to take those two halves and cut from the point across so that we end up with 4 rectangles. And then we're going to take these and put them around that center square, just like that. Isn't that cute? Just love that. Now, to really make this little quilt square look cute, we're going to go to the Elegant Edges cartridge, and on page 52, right down here is a little scallop square. This is called Eyelet 2, and we're going to cut this little square out at 3 1/4 inches, because our quilt square is 3 inches, so 3 1/4 is just right. And we're going to adhere this on here. That is so cute. I love that. So I'm going to get my ATG gun and get that put on. And then this is ready to go on the front of a card. All it needs is a little button in that center square and some embroidery floss or some kind of ribbon or something put through the button, and that's just going to be cute as can be. I love that. Now, I've already done a card with a quilt square on it. Here it is right here. You can see I did use that same gingham, but I changed up my, this is green and white snowflakes, and here's the holly paper. I love both of them. But my card is on white cardstock. It's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I have a green mat, which is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And then my red mat is 4 inches by 5 1/4. I've got my little quilt square popped up on 1 thickness of foam tape, and there you see I've got my button with some embroidery floss through there, or you can use crochet thread. Then down here, also on that same page, page 52, up here in the corner is a border. So I cut that white border at 3/4 of an inch, and it hung off just a little bit. And I took a strip of green, which is 1/4 of an inch by 4 inches, and put down the center and put that on the front of my card and just trim those edges off, and added 2 more buttons with some crochet thread through them. And I wanted something for my sentiment, have a warm and cozy Christmas. So I went to page 25 in that same Elegant Edges cartridge. I love it when you can get all your cuts out of one cartridge. And here under oblong, this is swirl 1, I cut that out at 1 3/4 inches, and I cut the shadow out of green. I used some Memento Tuxedo Black ink to stamp Have a Warm and Cozy Christmas, and this is popped up on 1 thickness of foam tape as well. I love the way that looks. Now for the inside, I cut another mat out of that red, and this is 3 1/2 by 4 1/2. Then I cut another of the little scallops. They're on page 52, and this time instead of a square, I cut the oblong. And I cut that at 3 1/2 inches, and from the Christmas Joy set, I stamped Warmest Holiday Wishes, and I cut 2 more little squares and put on here, like little pieces for a patchwork quilt, and put those on, and added another little button. I love the way this card turned out. I think this is going to be the one I send out to everybody. There you go, guys. Get out your scraps and cut some squares and just have lots of fun doing some paper quilting. It's very relaxing, and you end up with something so cute. And I'm going to take this and put this on another card and just keep on going. Thank you so much for coming by today and spending some time with me, and I'll see you again soon with card number 8. Bye now.